What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. So I know if you just... my mouth was moving, but my brain wasn't there.
Okay. Why'd you stop?
Because my brain left. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. So I know if you just started following us over the last couple of months, you've probably only seen before and after house flip videos and some cool tours of abandoned resorts and mansions. And while we love shooting those types of videos, we are also huge believers in financial freedom, and we like to do financial education videos on this channel as well.
So today we're going to be talking to you about how we became millionaires by the age of 30. That was a huge goal of ours throughout our 20s, and we reached it. We're so grateful for that, and we wanted to share the top 5 habits or actions that we took that made us millionaires so that we can help you become millionaires too, because it's very achievable no matter what background you came from.
And I think another myth is like becoming a millionaire. Well, we thought it was going to be a bigger experience than it was. We thought balloons were going to fall from the ceiling.
We were going to stop working forever.
Yeah, we thought that. And while we're extremely grateful to be that or have that type of net worth, it wasn't that at all. In fact, we just got right back to work and just kept going and doing what we were doing. So it's not some kind of like huge like celebration and everybody's happy for you. In fact, this is one of the first times we actually disclosed it publicly. We talk about it a little bit on our Instagrams, but we don't like to talk about our financials a lot publicly.
Yeah, definitely. And also, it wasn't like a huge life-changing moment or anything. Really quick, how we found out is we do our net worth every month. We have budget meetings together and do all of our net worth. And then one month we did our net worth. We knew we were getting really close to $1 million, and we realized that we passed $1 million, and we were saying, wow, that's crazy to each other, like good job. And then we just like ate dinner and moved on.
Also, I want to add that we were probably millionaires before we actually hit it, but we were just being super strict. We didn't count equity in our businesses or anything like that. We didn't count our vehicles. You can count all that stuff and it's fine. Basically, how you know your net worth, it's all of your assets minus your liabilities. And if that is a net of $1 million, congrats, you're a millionaire on net worth. But a lot of people want to call themselves multimillionaires or whatever, but they don't subtract the debt. Once you subtract all your debt, then you actually have your actual net worth. So please keep that in mind as well. You don't have to do it that way, but I wanted to be strict with our number.
Now it's time to get into the top 5 actions or habits that we took that led us on our path of becoming millionaires. So number 1 is very important, and this is how we actually started on this track, and that was living below our means and having self-discipline with our money.
Or being cheap, as I got picked on a lot when I was younger. And I probably was being cheap looking back on it, but I don't regret it because it allowed me to save and then teach you, and you were receptive and helped, and then we saved together, and that's what allowed us to build up capital to start investing with.
Exactly. We didn't want to get into the huge keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle, so we didn't get into that. I would say we're frugal still. We're not cheap anymore, but we're definitely frugal. And really, you just have to look inward, because everything that we tend to spend money on, especially as Americans, is very much for show. Fancy cars, huge houses, nice clothes, jewelry, things like that. None of that stuff really matters. If you really enjoy a big house or a big car, that's kind of different. But a lot of people do it kind of for status.
You mean a nice car?
Yeah.
Or a big car.
Oh, did I say big car?
Yeah, but I want to say we weren't perfect. I made a mistake when I was 21. I don't know if it was a mistake. It was definitely a learning lesson for me, though, was the BMW. Remember? I bought that BMW, and that was me keeping up with the Joneses. I wanted to impress people. I did want it for myself, but it was also, I'm not going to lie, and you guys can't either, when you buy the big house or the nice car or the nice purse or the nice shoes, it's also to impress others. Yes, you like it for yourself, but sometimes, most of the time, you know, we buy into the impressing others. We want other people to know we're doing well, and that's fine to a degree, as long as it's not holding you back from your ultimate goal. And I wouldn't say that BMW was, but it definitely could have been spent in a better way. So that's why I sold it so quickly. For
sure, I definitely agree with that, but you figured out fast that that wasn't leading us on our path that we wanted to be on, so you sold it. I didn't make him sell it, contrary to popular
belief. No, all I
belief.
did was I said, oh my gosh, I was adding it up every month. The insurance and the payment was like almost $700 or $800 a month. Mm-hmm. And you and I were looking heavily into travel at the time.
Yes.
Because we wanted to travel. And I was like, oh my gosh, if just 2 or 3 car payments and we can go to Jamaica. So I literally listed it for sale the next day after realizing that.
Mm-hmm. He really did.
And I think the thing I want to touch on, you know, we touched on a little bit, but that's self-discipline. It's just motivating yourself and then doing what you say you're going to do, keeping promises to yourself. This has been absolutely huge for us. A huge example is us sitting right here in front of this camera today. I didn't want to film.
No.
I haven't been having a great weekend, right?
We already did a house walkthrough this morning that we filmed that's coming up in like 2 weeks. We were both like burnt out on it, and we just didn't want to do it.
But you push me,
Yeah.
and then other times I push you, and this is what helps us stay on course and stay on track. And it's just, again, it's keeping promises to yourself. If you said you're going to go to the gym tomorrow, go to the gym. If you said you're going to contribute to your Roth IRA, contribute. And what that does is it puts you into a habit. And then you keep doing it, because if you keep breaking promises to yourself, you're never going to get to that goal, or at least you're going to make it really hard on yourself.
I totally agree. You couldn't have said that better. Bee's napping right now. That's when we film a majority of the time, and we would love to just like lay out on the couch and watch Netflix or watch YouTube or do something like that, but we know that won't get us to our goals. And we do push each other. Does that always go smoothly? No. I'll be honest, when I'm not feeling it and John's like, we need to film, blah, 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 I'm like, I do get annoyed and I act annoyed, but he knows that and he does the same, so we don't take it personally. And I mean, we've been together for like 13 years now. We know each other very well, but just having that support system is very helpful.
And also working around all the excuses you could come up with. I
Yeah.
think Rhianna and I do not even need a YouTube. We do not need the YouTube or the income from it, so we could shut it down today. But we kept a promise to ourselves, and we said we'd make these videos. We keep a promise to you guys because we know y'all are expecting the content. Now, will we always make it? I'm not sure, but we promised it to ourselves for right now, so we keep doing it. And that's just another thing. And like you said, we work around the excuses. We could say, well, we only have an hour today when she's taking a nap. Let's enjoy or relax. But
Yeah.
nope, we're sitting here filming a video, so maybe now we only get 10 or 15 minutes to ourselves.
But we're going to enjoy the end product so much more. It has more reward and satisfaction than laying on the couch watching Netflix and then we feel exactly the same after. So I think the fact that we sat down and did this kind of turns around our whole day, because when we're done filming, then we're done working for the day and we're gonna feel accomplished. So we're gonna enjoy everything else we do today to wind down so much more. And that brings us to habit number 2, which was budgeting. We didn't start doing this right away, but we definitely started doing it early on. And I think it was a big factor into our success.
Oh, absolutely. And being on the same page. I think that's the big point of the budget, especially if you have a relationship, is knowing what each other is spending and being on the same path, or going towards the same goal for your saving and your investing. And budgeting allowed us to do that, because we said, okay, this is what we have for groceries. This is what we have for our rent. This is what we have for whatever we were spending. And we made sure we didn't go over that. And if we did, we were both on the same page.
I think that we actually learned how to budget from your business, from your moving company, the first business that John had. He had a budget book for the business and would do the numbers constantly, and I didn't really ever think about budgeting before that point. So I feel like that kind of, the business side leaked into our personal life, but it really helped.
Yeah, it was actually reversed. Some people carry their personal into their business, and we did it the other way around, because good luck running a business without knowing the numbers. And so I quickly had to understand that and be very good at it and be diligent at knowing those numbers, and that allowed us to transfer that knowledge into our personal lives and our personal budget.
And we still keep a budget to this day. Every single thing we spend is logged. If you're interested in our budget spreadsheet, quick shout out to myself. My link's below on Etsy. I created budget spreadsheets that you can use, and it's the one we use.
Yeah, and that's it. And just you work your backwards. What is your goal? And then you work backwards from there. So if your goal is to invest $500 every single month into your Roth IRA or whatever it is, you need to work backwards from there to make sure you have that money every single month. And so that means it may require you to cut spending elsewhere. And maybe you can't go out to the movies 5 times that month. And maybe you can't go to Chipotle 15 times that month. Maybe you only can go 5 times. And a lot of it is just going to be some sacrificing.
Leads right back into living below your means. You'll notice that all these methods kind of melt together because they all have a lot to do with each other.
Yeah, I think I'd like to add to that. Even with our net worth now, I drive a 12-year-old vehicle. You drive like a 15-year-old vehicle. We live in a very modest $160,000 or $155,000, $152,000 townhouse, and our bills today are still well below our means. In fact, we're able to save over 95% of our income today.
Yeah, we still spend the same amount now as we did 6 or 7 years ago a month. We know because
That's
we
not
keep a
true.
budget.
You've upped your grocery budget.
I did. And going on point number 3, that will be saving. So we kind of started saving and living below our means. That's the first 2 things we did that really led us on our financial path. Saving's a huge one that we were really good at. And so I'll let you touch on that because it's definitely interesting that we kind of naturally started saving in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it does tie in with the first two, but we just wanted to reiterate that you should be saving money. If you are spending everything you take home, even if you're a high income earner, you're not saving anything. The person making $30,000 a year that's able to save 50% of their income actually has a higher net worth at the end of the day than the person that's making $100,000 a year but only can save 2 or 3% of their income. So please keep that in mind. It's what you keep, not what you make, is what ends up making you a millionaire or financially free. I do want to preface that real quick, or say something extra on that. Is millionaire is kind of what we titled this video, and it's cool that we're millionaires, but a lot of people can reach financial freedom before that depending on your lifestyle. So really the ultimate goal should be financial freedom and not just some big number in the sky.
No, and we're gonna do this is kind of a series video, our financial education videos about our journey. So we're gonna be doing a video purely on financial freedom coming up here in the next couple weeks. But we figured a good way to open it up is to telling you about kind of how we got on that path and what things we did to get there.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm doing this a lot behind you.
We just agree with each other. It's actually good.
On everything. We never even
everything.
argue
We
or
never
fight
argue,
or nothing.
We don't fight. Yeah, we didn't fight last night. Definitely not. One more thing before we get off the saving topic. I did used to kind of think John saved too much when we first met. We didn't always see eye to eye on everything financial. I thought he was too extreme until I realized what my goals were as well, and that you do need to be kind of extreme to reach those goals. I used to say, like, why are you saving all this money? What if we die and we haven't spent any of it? And really, that's not a good outlook if you have goals to reach. It's a good outlook if you're YOLOing it, but that's not what we were doing. So I just want to share that really fast so it doesn't seem like we just met and was on the same page right away.
And the pressure didn't only come from you. I mean, my friends, my family, I got called cheap. I would get picked on constantly. We go to the bar, I would never buy shots or drinks. I'd always get drunk beforehand. You know, I was always finding a way. I would walk home instead of cab home. I would do some extreme things, and they picked on me a lot for that. It was a lot in good fun, but there's a lot of people that gave me a lot of crap for that, and I had to fight through that. I had to fight through the pressure of buying the new cars and the clothes and the shoes and buying all the alcohol when we went out, especially when I had some money.
Oh, yeah.
Like it would have been easy for me to impress people at the bar if I said, hey, I can buy everybody shots because I've got $50, $80, $100,000 in the bank. That's actually when the pressure even mounts even higher, because then you can actually afford it without problem. But I had bigger goals in mind.
And while we're mentioning like some of the small extreme things we did, like walking home or not eating out at all, it's not one action that leads to you saving a big amount of money. It's all these actions accumulating together. So if you're skipping out on, no, I'm just gonna take a cab this once, no, I'm just gonna eat out this once, no, I'm just gonna get a new outfit once, that all adds together and takes away from your ultimate goal. So it may seem like these things are little, but it's really a domino effect.
And I think that's the misconception, is like, oh, John, it's only $5, or John, you got it, it's only $20. And it's every time I say no to $5 or $20 or $100 spending it here or there, that adds up. And you add that and let it compound over a year and then invest that money, that's where the difference is. So yes, the $5 actually does matter over and over and over again when you let it add up. And that's the old, you should skip out on the coffee. And that's an argument in and of itself. But yeah, that's kind of how we allowed us to save money.
Now we're on to step number 4. So that would be educating ourselves. This is a huge one, and I put it at number 4 because we didn't start doing it right away in the beginning. Like I said, we were like avid savers, but we didn't really know what to do besides saving. Well, John's talked about this a lot before, but he had gotten a podcast from a friend. It was Evan Pagan.
This was before a podcast, actually. It was just like a convention or something.
Oh, like just recording?
Yep.
Yeah, so tell him about that a little.
So yeah, a friend of mine sent it to me, and he said, hey, this thing was like $15,000 or $20,000 a ticket. This was 12 years ago, maybe even longer. And he was like, he's teaching people about finances and living below their means and all that. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll learn about it. I just started this business. So it was kind of like the frugal part of me knew when I was getting something for free that cost a lot of money. So that's why I watched it. And I think I binged this thing for like 2 or 3 nights straight. It was hours of footage.
I remember we were laying in bed, you would have your headphones in after like we both worked all day, and you were listening to that. And then I honestly wasn't really interested in it at that point. So I wasn't like, take your headphones out, let me listen to it too. I didn't really know.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
But actually the biggest takeaway of that entire video was wants versus needs. And there was a ton of content in there, and I'm sure a lot of it stuck with me, but the number one thing that stuck with me was wants versus needs. Understanding the difference between the two and focusing on your needs and then buying your wants after your needs are covered. And your needs aren't just like food and water and shelter. Of course those are needs, and clothing and things like that. But do you need a pair of shoes or do you want the Jordans? Like that's the kind of the difference when you start evaluating everything. So when you go to buy something, I always say to myself now, or at least when I go to buy something, do I want this or do I need it? Now we still buy once, but we've calculated it, and that's the big thing. And a lot of people are only buying their wants before their needs are covered. And needs aren't just, like, again, needs aren't just food and water and shelter. It could be your investment accounts, your retirement accounts, that property you want to purchase. Those could be needs too. Needs that get you to your ultimate goal of financial freedom. So wants versus needs was the biggest takeaway from that.
Oh, for sure. And then we started educating ourselves on investing. We started out, actually not in real estate, we started out in the stock market with our Roth IRAs. Neither one of us had any retirement until then. So we started learning about investing, and then we started learning about real estate. Well, actually, let me rephrase. John started learning about real estate and real estate investing because that's when I was getting into CRNA school. So he really spent a lot of time kind of setting us up for success in that aspect. And everything I learned about real estate was from you.
And everything I learned was on the internet. I mean, it's open to everybody. Yes, you can get mentors, you can get coaching like Rhianna and I provide, which is great.
Yeah, we have a community called More Than Money. It's a platform we created to teach people about financial freedom, investing, paying off debt, saving money, all that kind of stuff. We do weekly live streams that are educational and interactive. So if you're interested in that and you want to know more, the link will be in the description below. You can join. It's only $25 a month, but I promise it is well worth it.
Oh, it's definitely worth it. It's a humongous shortcut. But what I was saying was, all that information is free if you want to spend the time to go research it all. That's where we give you the shortcut, because we've already learned it all and we're just going to give it to you streamlined. But it's fine. Join forums like Bigger Pockets, Nerd Wallet. Get on places like that and start learning yourselves as soon as possible, because they're not going to teach you this stuff in school, and it's very rare that you have a ton of friends and family around you wanting to learn the same stuff.
Investopedia is a good one too. I've learned a lot of like lingo and just kind of concepts off there.
Absolutely.
Last thing that we're going to do on education is something that is really important, especially when you get into the next thing, which is going to be investing, and that is doing your due diligence.
I can only think right now that I've been sitting Indian style for like 18 minutes and I probably won't be able to stand up. But yeah, due diligence is super important, and what that is basically just researching to death what you're getting involved with, who you're getting involved with, what you're getting involved with, and everything about it. Doing your due diligence is evaluating the deal, or again, like the person. And you want to do this, and you want to educate yourself on how to do due diligence, whether that's buying a rental property, buying your first investment as a flip, whatever the case may be. Make sure you do research on it and educate yourself on it first.
Don't get confused between due diligence and analysis paralysis. So educating yourself until you understand all aspects of what you're doing is very important, but don't get so tied up in it that you get analysis paralysis, which means that you can't take action because you're trying to learn every single detail, even things that are irrelevant.
Absolutely.
And for our fifth and final habit or action that made us millionaires, it is investing.
Yes, so this is what is so important. Once you have some money saved, you need to get it to work, and quickly and efficiently. And what that means is put it in safe investments that make a good average return. You're probably shooting for somewhere between 7 and 10%. Anything over 10%, you need to be more educated on that matter, because it gets a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more risky after 10%, but you can do that. Rhianna and I average over 20% in the market just by luck over how great the market's been doing lately, but we average even higher than that through real estate, which allows us to compound our money even faster. But you definitely want to do this. If you know nothing else about investing and all your debts are paid and you have some money saved, you at least need to start a Roth IRA. It's the easiest thing to get started on. It compounds for you. You invest in it every single year. Right now the limit is $6,000 per person, or up to $12,000 per couple. And if only one person is working but you're married, you can contribute for the other one. And that's $12,000 you can put away every single year, post-tax, and you never pay taxes on it again, and let it compound for you in the market in something that tracks the S&P 500. Not telling you what to buy, but don't go buying individual stocks if you're not educated on it, and get your money to work ASAP.
We invest in real estate and the stock market, and then we dabble in some crypto. So if you want us to make a whole video about where our money's invested, comment down below, because we could definitely do that. I know John would love to do that. You can tell how passionate he is about investing just from hearing him talk there for a second.
Well, that's what allowed us to reach that $1 million goal, which
for sure.
so much quicker than we thought we did. I mean, we were years ahead of it. And in fact, since then, I mean, that's been a little while now, but since then, you know, we're on course to be, you know, well beyond that, just from our money compounding, because the more money you have, the more it compounds. And so it just keeps going and going, and we're extremely thankful for that.
Investing is how we became financially free, which I said we're going to do a whole video about. We are, but investing will get you there, saving won't.
No, but saving gets you to investing.
Exactly.
So it all works hand in hand. So guys, that'll kind of wrap up this video. We really hope you enjoyed it. We hope you got some value from it, and you can apply these things that we're teaching to your own lives and help you reach financial freedom or $1 million or whatever your goal is. We would be grateful if any of this content ever helps you do that.
Yes, we love talking with you guys through this camera and in person, interacting
And on More Than Money.
Yeah. So we've actually run into people before in public, and it's super awesome. We love this community we've built online and sharing with you. I never thought we'd be like sharing our life like this.
No.
But it's incredible. We've gotten so many opportunities and met some awesome people.
In fact, I was hesitant about even making this video. Like, I don't like letting people know we're millionaires. Outside of, I've mentioned a few times on Instagram, but this is going to be news to a lot of people, maybe. And we've actually had this status for a while. So anyway, we hope you guys find value in it, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Next week. See you then.